In 1324, a man walked into Cairo with so much gold that he literally crashed Egypt's economy for over a decade. Prices went through the roof, making everything way more expensive for everyone, right? The currency collapsed. And historians estimate this man's wealth at over $400 billion in today's money, making Jeff Bezos look broke by comparison. His name was Mansa Musa, and this is the story of the richest person who ever lived. From Africa, right? Before we get to how one man destroyed an economy with kindness, you need to understand where he came from. Mansa Musa ruled the Mali Empire in West Africa during the 14th century. And when I say empire, I'm not talking about a small kingdom. Mali stretched across an area larger than Western Europe, covering parts of modern-day Mali, Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, Nigeria, Chad, and Mauritania. The Mali Empire wasn't just big, it was obscenely wealthy. Why? 2 words: gold and salt. At the time, Mali controlled over half of the world's gold supply. Half. Imagine controlling half of the world's oil today. That's the kind of power we're talking about. Gold poured out of legendary mines like Bambouk and Bure, regions so rich that stories said gold grew like plants in the ground. Salt was equally valuable because it was essential for preserving food, and Mali controlled the major salt mines at Taghaza. This combination made the Mali Empire a global economic superpower. Mansa Musa became emperor, or Mansa, around 1312, after his predecessor Abubakar II allegedly sailed across the Atlantic with a fleet of ships and never returned. But that's a story for another video. Unlike his adventurous predecessor, Musa was a devout Muslim and a shrewd administrator. He inherited an empire that was already rich, but under his rule, Mali became the beating heart of global trade. Gold, salt, ivory, and slaves flowed out of West Africa, while fine textiles, books, and manufactured goods flowed in. The capital city of Niani and the trading hub of Timbuktu became legendary centers of wealth and learning. In 1324, Mansa Musa decided to undertake the Hajj, the sacred pilgrimage to Mecca. But this wasn't just a spiritual journey, it was the world's most extravagant road trip. Musa assembled a procession so vast it looked like a moving city. Arab chroniclers who witnessed it were left speechless. We're talking about a caravan of 60,000 men, including 12,000 slaves, all dressed in the finest Persian silks and brocades. His personal retinue consisted of 500 heralds, each carrying a staff made of pure gold. And then there was the gold itself. The caravan included a train of 100 camels, each carrying 300 pounds of gold dust. That's 30,000 pounds of gold. Let that sink in. At today's prices, that's over $1 billion worth of gold, just for travel expenses. Every Friday, wherever the caravan stopped, Mansa Musa ordered the construction of a new mosque. He was not just traveling, he was making a statement to the world about the power and piety of his empire. When this golden river of humanity flowed into Cairo, the city's residents were stunned. Cairo was one of the world's great metropolises at the time, the capital of the Mamluk Sultanate and a major center of trade. They were used to seeing wealth, but they had never seen anything like this. Mansa Musa was incredibly generous. He handed out gold to everyone he met, from high-ranking officials to beggars in the street. He gave so much gold to the poor and to the merchants in the bazaars that the value of gold itself plummeted. He injected so much gold into the Cairene economy that he single-handedly caused mass inflation. The price of everyday goods like bread and oil skyrocketed. The local currency, the gold dinar, was devalued. For more than 12 years after his visit, the Egyptian economy was in a state of chaos. Imagine one person visiting New York today and handing out so many $100 bills that the US dollar becomes worthless for a decade. That's the scale of the economic disruption we're talking about. Mansa Musa literally broke Egypt's economy with his generosity. Mansa Musa's journey to Mecca wasn't just about showing off his wealth. It was a brilliant act of international public relations. Before his Hajj, the Mali Empire was a little-known entity to the wider European and Middle Eastern world. After his Hajj, that changed forever. News of his incredible wealth spread like wildfire. He had literally put Mali on the map. European cartographers began to include the Kingdom of Mali in their world maps, often featuring a drawing of Mansa Musa himself, seated on a throne and holding a massive gold nugget. The most famous of these is the 1375 Catalan Atlas, which depicts him as the undisputed king of gold. On his way back from Mecca, Mousa saw the economic damage he had caused in Cairo. In an unprecedented move, he tried to fix it. He borrowed back all the gold he could from Cairo's moneylenders at an exorbitant interest rate, a desperate attempt to take gold out of circulation and restore its value. It was the world's first ever quantitative tightening, orchestrated by a single man. It wasn't entirely successful, but it shows his awareness of the economic power he wielded. Mousa also brought back scholars, architects, and books from across the Islamic world. His greatest project was the transformation of Timbuktu. He commissioned the architect Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, whom he met in Mecca, to build the legendary Jinguereber Mosque, which still stands today. Timbuktu became a world-renowned center for Islamic scholarship and learning, with a university, Sankore, that housed a library with an estimated 700,000 manuscripts. This was an intellectual golden age for West Africa, all funded by Malian gold and driven by Musa's vision. So, was Mansa Musa really the richest person to have ever lived? It's impossible to calculate his exact net worth, but estimates put it in the realm of $400 billion in today's money. This figure is based on his empire's production of gold, which accounted for more than half the world's supply at the time. Unlike modern billionaires whose wealth is tied up in stocks and assets, Musa's wealth was tangible. It was pure gold. Comparing him to modern figures like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk is difficult. Their wealth is a fluctuating number on a screen, tied to the stock market. Mansa Musa's wealth was the market. He controlled the resource that underpinned the economies of Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, shaping trade and livelihoods everywhere. He wasn't just a player in the game. In many ways, he was the game. His fortune was so vast that it's been described as incomprehensible. There was simply no one, before or since, who had such personal control over such a significant portion of the world's most valuable commodity. When you consider his absolute control over an empire that produced an endless stream of gold, the $400 billion figure starts to look conservative. He was more than just a king. He was the source code for wealth in the 14th century world. The story of Mansa Musa forces us to rethink our understanding of history, wealth, and power. It's a powerful reminder that for centuries, the center of global economic power was not in Europe or Asia, but in Africa. If you want to learn more about Africa's hidden history, hit that subscribe button. Next week, we're exploring something even more shocking. Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt, but almost nobody knows they exist. Drop a comment. What other African historical figures should we cover? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.